Welcome back to the channel, it's LukeTheDuke, and at the time of upload for this video, Starfield will be sitting at T-minus 27 days until blast off into early access. And I know some of you probably saw the video title and were wondering, did you get the wording out of order? And my answer to you is no. Now, I've got some news on Starfield at Gamescom, a little bit of info from our Reddit predictions mad scientist, a beast reveal by Bethesda, and then we need to talk about the Starfield Storm. Thank you again for all the continued support you've been showing my Starfield uploads. Your responses have been truly overwhelming, and in case you haven't yet hit subscribe, please do so, and don't forget to ring the notifications bell. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated. Per usual, I've included chapters for easy viewing, and it's time to get this one going. First, let's take a look at a recent reveal for a beast found on planet Akila named the Ashta, along with this caption of, "Those who venture beyond the walls of Akila City do so at their own peril. There you'll encounter the deadly Ashta." Now, besides the sharp, lion-like canine teeth, the Ashta seems to be covered in impressive body armor scales. It also has oversized ears, and I can't tell if those are its eyes or if it is eyeless, which might actually make sense as to why its ears are so big, as it uses sound to navigate. Now, we've seen a statue version of an Ashta in the Starfield Direct presentation, and although the angle is a bit off, it seems to be about the same size as a human. But then again, we don't know if this is possibly a smaller Ashta or even a baby. Also, notice those huge talons on each claw. Anyways, if you start to wander outside the Akila city walls, expect to run into one of these beasts, and I will be checking more into if those are its eyes or does it use echolocation to hunt in a future upload. Switching gears, and the Reddit mad scientist known as ASD8DHD has been busy in the lab and has reevaluated their time frame for when we should expect our next round of Starfield info drops, based on the numbers displayed on that jump drive indicator in the trailer. And this is all wild stuff, and here it is, the adjust release schedule. And if I'm reading this correctly, we should expect some sort of Starfield drop later today. Or, since ASD8DHD happened to show up in my last Starfield comment section and left a comment, we should expect something big by Monday. Anyways, fingers crossed on all of this. I've really been enjoying my time researching all angles of this game, and we are into the last 30 days before release, where information drops and trailers should start becoming a regular occurrence. Next up, and this will also tie into our last topic for today, is the news that was published on the Xbox site showing the booths and what will be stationed at those booths for Gamescom, which goes down from August 23rd through the 27th in Cologne, Germany. And we already knew that Bethesda was expected to attend, but up until this roster was posted, we had not yet received confirmation that Starfield would be there. Now, a few days ago, I said that there was a 99% chance that Starfield would be there, and now we have this announcement. But this has also stirred up some heat, as we can see that Starfield is slated to have a theater experience and photo opportunities, but no game stations to play some demo form of the game. And I've seen some of the heated rhetoric around this one, as if Starfield not having playable demo versions at Gamescom is some sort of giant red flag. I mean, there's all sorts of theories flying around out here. I saw this one in particular over on Twitter from Paul Tassi, reporter for Forbes, where he is actually responding back to another tweet, and this other tweet is saying there isn't something right about Starfield. They are, of course, hiding something about the game, just like they did with Redfall, and the game is launching in 28 days, WTF. And Tassi's reply kind of dips into a sarcastic tone when he says, what could they possibly be hiding by not letting the public play Starfield at Gamescom when it launches a week later? Get a bunch of, I played the first 20 minutes of Starfield and takes when the entire thing will drop in 4 days. Like, why bother with that news cycle? And I've not always agreed with Paul. In the past, we were both deep into the Outriders community, and we didn't always agree on the direction of the game. But on this one, I think he's spot on. Would having a row of 100 Starfield demo stations be awesome to see at Gamescom? Of course. Hell yes. Will not having playable Starfield demos at Gamescom make or break this game? No. Starfield is still in the top spot for Steam's most wishlisted games. It has jumped up 12 spots from last week to currently land in the 9th spot for the top 100 selling games currently on Steam. And the last time I heard, there are something like 20 million Game Pass subscribers that will have access to Starfield on day one. Of course, not all of them are going to be playing Starfield, but it will be there and available nonetheless. And so, I agree, not having Starfield demos at Gamescom isn't some sort of giant red flag. Maybe it's an executive Xbox decision, looking at the calendar and seeing early access happening just 5 days later, and maybe they're concerned with losing future pre-order sales. If you pre-ordered Starfield and paid all that extra money for early access only to see an attendee at Gamescom dropping spoilers all over social media, I mean, how would you personally feel about it? And also, just to prove something to you before I move on to the last bit of this one, here's a look at my actual Steam store page. And you can see that Starfield has not yet been purchased. That's correct. I have not pre-ordered this game. But that doesn't mean I can't be excited about Starfield, because I have been ever since I saw the initial announcement trailers. It hit so many right notes for me. Space exploration, faction battles, tons of danger, and some sort of wild extraterrestrial element. I mean, it really is Skyrim in space, at least to me, and I loved Skyrim. So changing the venue, again for me, was nothing but a positive shift. But on the flip side, I've also been preaching being cautiously optimistic. I've been burned by pre-orders in the past. I've mentioned Fallout 76 in previous uploads, and there are countless more tales of horror I could add onto that list, but that doesn't mean I can't be incredibly hyped by what I've seen. I guess what I'm trying to say here is this. I have truly enjoyed researching everything Starfield. I've enjoyed speculating on the things that I've seen and heard, and I will continue to enjoy looking into this latest title from BGS. But I can also temper those levels of hype with facts and remembering the past, and that's all I'm saying. And now onto the Starfield Storm, and this one is currently built around 2 epicenters. First is this lack of marketing, and the second is, of course, multi-platform. Just doing a quick Twitter search, and there's this one that I partially agree with from Legacy Akila HD, where he points out journalists and YouTubers will be publishing previews soon, but the lack of Xbox marketing around what is arguably their biggest game in years, and certainly for 2023, is odd. And we haven't really seen anything since the Starfield Direct. By the way, I was paraphrasing a bit there, and to a degree, he's right. Now, I don't know what Xbox's overall plan is for Starfield, but you would think that at 30 days to go, they would be hitting all the social channels with extreme force, and I personally have not seen an ad pop up anywhere for Starfield, as we've just received a written dev interview and 3 animated shorts. But does that signal huge red flags? Does that mean, as I've seen some people posting, that another Starfield delay is inevitable? You know what? I'm not ready to go there. But I do agree that if Xbox, Bethesda, and Starfield were following traditional advertising models, we would be getting bombarded with Starfield ads morning, noon, and night. And we aren't. At least I'm not. A point that was echoed by recent YouTube uploads. Shifting gears over to that second social epicenter, and this one's centered on multi-platform. And I ran into this one, which has a bit more heat on it from Jez on Twitter, pointing out that because Starfield is an Xbox exclusive, the usual suspects are making up BS to FUD and Algo Hump. I was completely lost, so I had to look up what FUD meant, but it means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And for me, I'm currently neck deep in other heated gaming discussions, and for anyone that follows my channel, you've seen me going hard against Battlefield, Outriders, and more recently Ark and the day before. You know, I'm not shy about calling out bad games or bad business practices by studios or publishers, but here from Jez, we've got a firm call out pointing to hate surrounding the game, a game that hasn't yet launched, is in large part due to it being exclusive to a single console. Now, I've never really given this a ton of thought. I mean, I game on PC, and so I am frequently cut out of playing titles that I want to play that could be limited to console. I guess it's an angle I need to research even more. Now, to be upfront and honest, I don't personally follow any of the sources I cited in today's video. I just did a quick search and I found them. But along with these, there are tons more impressions out there following this same narrative. Where is Starfield? What happened to Starfield? Huge red flags about Starfield. And I thought that 45-minute direct presentation would have answered a majority of questions, but the answer to all of these swirling accusations and issues around these two epicenters of lack of marketing and multi-platform, all of this could be handled by Xbox and Bethesda. They could easily put out all the fires by unleashing an overwhelming 30-day barrage of Starfield uploads, trailers, dev interviews, recorded play sessions, and even pulling a Houdini with demo stations at Gamescom. I have no idea what Xbox is going for with this. Do we have an incoming marketing overload or a trickle feed up to launch? And how do they handle these discussions centered on red flag topics? I think there's a lot of drama, and I wanted to touch on it at least once, to give it a voice and acknowledge it. But my future Starfield uploads will focus on little bits of news and newly learned facets of the game, and I'm going to personally keep my powder dry for if or when Bethesda gives me a real reason to tear into them over Starfield. I know it's a little bit of a different format than my normal Starfield content, and in the future, expect me to return to that format. But as always, I look forward to reading your feedback in the comments section below. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are always appreciated. All my socials can be found in the video description. Shout out to the 131,000 of you that have stuck with me and hit subscribe, and a special thanks goes out to my patrons on Patreon. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.